I will be speaking in English a little bit, so if
Of
there is
course.
a
Of
problem with
course.
that,
No
please.
problem at all. Of course, you can.
Okay, so my name is Abderrahman Jaize. I'm 26. I'm a data scientist. I've been also in the program of DAC. I do a lot of NLP, data science things, everything related to machine learning and artificial intelligence. And I think that's a brief thing to do. I've been part of the GDG, DAC, TFUG, and all the Google programs so far. And I'm happy to be with you here today, guys. So let's just start. I think we are a little bit late. So let's skip the introduction first. We go directly to the session, and then after that we can go and discuss.
Yes, of course. Go ahead, Mr. Abderrahman.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so as I said, my name is Abderrahman Jaize, and this is titled The Importance of Machine Learning in the Education Sector. So basically, my talk will be focusing on the importance of the machine learning, as the name suggests, and relating that to the education sector. So machine learning is one of the most talked about technologies in today's stage. So it's a concept which lets the machines to learn from different examples and experience. In much simpler words, it is a computer science which uses statistical techniques to allow the computer system to learn, while it is being used in a lot of industries to boost the performance of the businesses. Normally, it has some great applications in the education sector as well. So let's just get started and see what we can see about that. In today's date, we can say we are prompt to say that a lot of students prefer to pay someone to do their homework. So as they don't understand the lesson in the class, normally machine learning can help students improve their learning by analyzing their academic performance and suggesting the best way to learn. In fact, machine learning has a lot more to offer to the education industry. And in recent years, we have witnessed how it can potentially transform the whole education system. But first, let's talk about adaptive learning. So adaptive learning refers to the style of learning where the learners receive personalized learning experiences that address the unique need of the individual learners. Machine learning is allowing us to analyze the performance of each student in real time and then modifying the teacher's method or the teaching methods and the curriculum based on the analyzed data. With the help of machine learning, it is now becoming a lot easier to facilitate personalized engagement with the goal of adapting the individual's need to deliver better education, which is a normal thing. So the software assists in suggesting the learning paths that the learner should take. And in fact, the machine learning powered software also gives suggestions to students about the study materials and other learning methodologies that are more appropriate for the unique needs. So machine learning makes it a lot easier for students and colleges to better organize and manage their content and curriculum. It further helps to understand the potential of everyone in the system and then allocates the work accordingly. And it easily determines what works and what suits better to the individual instructor and what works best for the learners. So as machine learning makes education a lot easier for both the teachers and the students at the same time, it improves the involvement and their interest in learning and participation. Needless to say that it helps improve the efficiency of the education system. Also, machine learning makes educators more efficient by resolving issues such as classroom management, scheduling, etc. So this gives the educator enough free time to focus on things which AI and ML cannot do. And at the same time, learning materials can often be confusing for the teachers as well. So when they get stuck while teaching, the students don't get the properly learned insights and gist of the lessons. The ML-powered learning analytics can help the teacher gain insight into the data and allow them to develop a better understanding of the data. As the instructor shifts through countless pieces of content, analyze it, interpret it, and make connections and conclusions, it improves the overall teaching and learning process. So learning analytics also suggests which learning path an individual learner should take. It actually offers a lot of benefits to the student as well by providing suggestions regarding materials and other learning methodologies from the software. We can also see the predictive analytics as something is as important as the previous ones. So the predictive analytics feature of machine learning has helped various businesses across different industries in the past few years. While most businesses use this feature to understand the upcoming market trends, predictive analytics in education focuses mainly on understanding the mindset and the need of the individual learner. Also, it helps to participate the things that may happen in the field of education in the foreseeable future. Also, the class tests as well as the half-year results can help the educator understand which students are going to perform better in the finals and who are going to have difficulties. Normally, this allows the faculty as well as the parent to take appropriate measures to help the individual students, and this will certainly allow educators to help learners in a more comprehensive way. As you may have already learned, machine learning helps the educators understand the individual requirements. So thanks to this feature, it is now possible to offer customizable education models where students can guide their own learning, and in fact, they can choose the learning pace in which they learn the best in this. So machine learning has also made way for personalized learning, where students have the liberty to choose the subject they are interested in, the teacher they want to learn from, and what curriculum standards and patterns they want to follow. In simple words, students are now able to experience a learning environment that suits their needs and preferences. Also, machine learning is also changing the way the assessments are done. It has the ability to grade the assignments and exams more accurately than a human. As you may realize, checking the OMR answer sheet and still is a tedious process. So normally, and the chances of making an error while guarding the paper, while grading the paper, were also there. So with machine learning, the evaluation can be more accurate. Even though in some cases, human assistance is required for the evaluation to take place, machine learning ensures that the results are as accurate as they can be. So to put it in simple words, machine learning offers an evaluation of students' performance with higher validity and reliability with low chances of errors. So today, a lot of processes and events gradually move online. So for various reasons, it becomes much easier and more effective to do things remotely. Hence, we work online. So we study online, we even visit museums, music concerts, and theaters online. Due to this trend, the competition in the e-learning market has become tougher. So educational platforms need to offer the easiest and the most engaging ways to deliver knowledge to its users and reflect this knowledge, and reflect the education system offered by the schools and universities. So let's see, we have had different levels, scores, and the most valuable feature for today possesses personal track of each student learning processes. So to ensure these features work properly, the online learning process incorporates a lot of smart technologies, one of those in machine learning. So over the past decade, it has become an inevitable part of every well-established e-learning website, as they need true efficient processing of big data. So what are they? What are the application of machine learning in online education? Let's get inside this topic and step by step to see it together. So, as you know, what is machine learning? machine learning as a concept is a broad. So the technology is a branch of artificial intelligence. Machine learning gives IT systems an ability to learn or interpret data on their own and self. So giving them the option to educate, relying on the experience they gained. A quick example, a machine translation service called DeepL, which is a great competitor to Google Translate. Normally, the application technology studies different ways of interpreting text into English, compares most popular patterns, and based on this data, offers text that need a minimum or no editing at all. And the main principle of machine learning is to access the necessary data. So analyze it and create patterns from it. So when I say patterns, I mean problem plus solution. So basically, they can analyze it or create a pattern from it or cluster it by different categories. So there is no human aid, no external coding, all is done by the machine only. So among the most common examples of how the technology works in real life are the image and the voice recognition. So by using a set of statistical tools, these technologies allows IT systems to interact directly with consumers and render them the necessary services they need. There are several algorithms of machine learning that are considered to be the most widely used. So we are going to focus on three types. So they are divided. I will divide them in three categories. I will be speaking about supervised and supervised and semi-supervised. So we always use algorithms to make things easier. So when speaking about the supervised algorithms, these algorithms apply already received knowledge to the new data using labeled examples. It allows them to use the existing experience to predict situations in the future. In other words, supervised machine learning allows us to collect data to produce a data output from the previous experience. The simplest example here is email filter. When the algorithm recognizes undesirable incoming messages and puts them into spam folder, then the supervised algorithms is capable of understanding a lot of things from the data. Also, there is like the unsupervised. When speaking about the unsupervised, these algorithms are applied in those cases where the data used in the machine learning process can be neither classified or labeled. It uses two types of information processing, clustering and association. So no answers are given, no relevant experience to repeat. These algorithms explore the data and make conclusions based on the examined information, and normally they discover and present the interesting structure in it. The main asset of unsupervised machine learning is to find all kinds of unknown patterns in data and then segment them, divide into groups by types, and it is normally widely used in data mining. Finally, when we talk about semi-supervised, these algorithms are applied in cases where some information can be labeled, but only partially, and the main set of the data cannot be determined. In other words, semi-supervised machine learning helps to classify some of the unlabeled data with the help of information that can be labeled. Normally, we can see a classic example of this is the speech analysis. So, speaking about the benefits, we know that machine learning for education, so what does it bring, honestly? It is already changing the global landscape of online education. As per the research report released by TechViano, they are saying that the global market of the online course based on machine learning technologies will grow with the CIGR higher than 26% by 2022. This rapid growth is bound to happen due to the affordable large volume data storage and its efficient processing that we have today. So the first thing we have to focus about is that normally machine learning and education processes are closely interconnected. So ML algorithms analyzes how the students perceive and explore the information they are given. It helps the system to either draw the user back and go through some learning points again, or let them normally step further. Machine learning also helps the teachers to monitor and trace the learning process individually, as compared to traditional methods in classrooms, where the goal is to deliver the course normally simply, but not to ensure that everyone got it. Machine learning gives the advantage of more profound information perception. The second thing is that when using machine learning in education, normally education, when using it, it helps to move the industry of online learning to the new level by making the content more up-to-date and relevant to the exact request. So how? Machine learning technologies, we can say, they analyze content of the online course and help to figure out whether the quality of the offered information meets the applicable standards of one hand, and on the other, it shows that how the user perceive the data and do they understand what is taught. So hence, in this case, users receive the information under their personal need and abilities, and the overall learning process improves greatly. You can also have a quick look at Udemy, one of the world's largest educational marketplace, which connects students and instructors to offer over like 1,000 hundreds of different courses. The third thing is that there is another application of machine learning in the education that deals with scores and grading. As each online course reflects the learning ability of a large number of students, they have a lot of experience in grading them. So machine learning technologies turn the grading process into a couple of second issues. We're speaking more of the exact science in this perspective. There are spheres where machine learning cannot replace teachers, but even in those cases, they can help to improve the existing grading and the evaluation approach. In addition to that, applying machine learning in education today is the easiest way to detect cases of plagiarism. The application of machine learning technologies is in the sphere turned out to be highly revenue generating. So would you believe that a company that uses ML technologies to reveal plagiarism cost $1,735 billion? So yeah, a year ago, a project called Turnit was purchased by a privately held media company exactly at that price. The fourth thing is that machine learning in the education sector is another driver to increase the RIO. So how would you ask? Normally, let's go back to the retention rate problem. It's over 96% of massive online course students giving up on their course for different reasons. Here, the area where normally machine learning changes the situation drastically. When the technology is applied, the users can get personalized support from the machine learning software, and they don't have to waste their time online waiting for the information they need. Normally, they are going back to the advantages of machine learning in online education, and it's worth mentioning predictive analysis that helps to track the progress of each user. This information gives an exact input to e-learning companies and how to produce necessary content and utilize their e-learning resources at the required time and place. This benefit is normally crucial. We can say crucial for the corporate sector, where the issue of budget and time resource matter very much. And the fifth thing is that both machine learning and artificial intelligence help to give students a personal course. So it is compiled based on the exact user's request rather than a time-saving solution. The program gives precise answers to the users whenever they need support. So as still machines cannot replace humans, this kind of studying is applicable only for those disciplines. So where they are the exact answer, and it would not help to explain more philosophical questions, for example, but at the amount of data it can offer, to be precise, or for just one request is astronomical. The sixth thing is that normally administrative work is extremely important and extremely boring at the same time. So let the machine do this kind of task. Machine learning helps to automate scheduling and content delivery processes and free your time. and resources for other things. So it will let you be more engaged in parts of e-learning process, of other e-learning processes development. So how to use machine learning in e-learning? So over the recent decade, a great number of machine learning projects in education appeared, especially in the corporate sector, including enterprises, small and medium businesses, and even startups. So the technology itself has a great resource for different applications in the sphere of online learning. It would be quite fun to try to enumerate all of its possibilities, as its potential goes very, very far beyond. There are some applications that today we can name or can be named a must-have for competitive e-learning platforms. So let's say they are the most frequent machine learning use cases in the education. What are they? So let's see. First, normally using machine learning mechanism, you can focus on the individual needs of each student. It is already possible to offer them individual instruction or individual testing or feedback. With the development of AI technologies in the future, it might become realistic to consider and analyze users' facial expression, which would be a big breakthrough, honestly, in the whole industry. So let's just wait and see if someone can achieve these kind of breakthroughs. The second thing is that if you can imagine when using your Google Mini or Siri or any Google Assistant or any assistant on your phone normally, saying something like, hey, what's on for today in marketing? So many learning materials already exist in the digital format. So there is like text, videos, tests, podcasts, and you can offer plenty of options. So to understand what is exactly the request of the student, you can just incorporate a learning assistant into the process who will guide the users and answer their requests when they need. The third thing is like in the e-learning process, the information is not considered to be boring or useless in case it's relevant to an exact need. So the use of machine learning can help you to sort out just the only necessary data out of the big amounts of content and arrange it in a customized course. So in other words, you can benefit from machine learning by making your content smarter. The use of machine learning for education enhance and optimize leads to outstanding results. But there are not only benefits, but also serious risks of machine learning and artificial intelligence application in the e-learning. So if these technologies could solve all the problems and replace the traditional system of education, it would already have happened. So what are the problems of machine learning and AI in the education sector today? Basically, the first thing is machine learning for education algorithm analyzes the interest of the online student. So make predictions about their future needs and give recommendation of courses. So the statistical tools here cannot always reflect real needs. Let's imagine we see a student who sits in a nosy place, like a cafe or some workspace. And he chooses to, normally he chooses a text format of information delivery. So as right at the moment, it suits him better, but we cannot say that he would make the same choice at home. So thus, in this case, the student's preferences are not that vivid for the machine learning, and the prediction scenario is not 100% accurate. So the reason for that is that the machine learning doesn't have enough data for use. To make predictions, people use information that they see every day. We remember from the past, dealing with it during some period. So to make this information digitally acceptable, we need to collect and describe almost every moment of a student's life, which seems to be impossible in today's world. Furthermore, it is not that easy to recommend a course and to be sure that you offer the right content that is really needed. So quite often learning management systems rely on the student's job title and role, the department who works in, and in some skills, they just try and list whatever they can. their existing experience and the true level of knowledge are not always reflected correctly by a machine. And here, such things as instructor observation and feedback from peers and manager cannot be done by a machine with the same accuracy as a human can render. The second thing is that the methodologies used by teachers and professors are highly adaptive when used in the classroom. So when it comes to the remote educational process, we face an issue of behavior pattern and individual approach. The real life process allows us to see how two different people perceive the same data and amend the approach if needed. Normally, in IT system, an IT system can measure the process of each student and correct the learning plans, but they cannot invent the methodology on their own. In the same cases, normally the approach of machine learning and AI are taught is not the best and rather old-fashioned. So in future, this issue can become a great driver of methodologies further development, as may non-vivid problems of the present system will become obvious, and the IT systems will offer even greater education methodologies. Until it didn't happen, the human factor here is an issue. The third thing is, normally this is a model when machine learning is used to run the interaction between students and e-learning platforms. So we need to analyze the unique needs of each user and offer customized resources and learning activities. No doubt, this is a great technology in the nearest years. It will be more widely introduced by the key e-learning web platforms, but as for today, normally I can say that the development of this approach is quite costly and time consuming. The most expensive part here is the granularity of the content. Normally, this system requires constant updating and monitoring, as the developer needs to understand how deep information adaptation of each learner should be. Speaking about the curriculum, courses, or model level, maybe we can say that rules and predictions also need continuous attention of the developers, and these things altogether form quite very big budget. Speaking about technological challenges, it's worth mentioning the problem of data cleansing. So the process of figuring out which data is correct, which data is incorrect or unnecessary, and its removal is crucial for making the educational content relevant and up to date. But which data and in which volume is needed to improve the learning process? What are the criteria of its relevance? So the methodologies are still not perfect, and today they cannot replace human in these processes. Now, it will take a while for all the schools and colleges to get used to the functions of machine learning. It is quite evident that a complete implementation of such technologies in the education sector still requires a lot of work. So, but there is no denying that machine learning and artificial intelligence have already started to transform the education scene for a better. So, yeah, thank you for bearing with me this very long talk. And I hope I have influenced some of you to think about innovating in this sector, as I am pretty sure it's going to be benefiting you very much. Go ahead if you have any questions, and I will be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abderrahman Jaize. So guys, now is the time. إذا كان عندكم سؤالات, go ahead. Put it in the chat and we will be relaying them to you. Mr. Abderrahman, you can look at the chat yourself and see the questions.
Okay.
Yes, they're relaying their thanks. بالحق, the presentation was very informative. Thank you so much. It was very detailed, and we all learned a lot of stuff. Thank you. It was very interesting and
Thank you.
Guys, questions. We use NLP. Yeah, Amal, if you could make it more specific, please. أمل كنت تجم ولا أمل I'm not sure كنت تجم تعاود. Can you repeat your question please? Yeah, شنو الكيستيون? Because you said we use NLP. What is there a question exactly?
So ML, if you don't know, normally NLP stands for Natural Language Processing, which is a sub part of machine learning in a way. So normally the concept is just to take the text of people, whatever people say, and try and understand it. So we transform each phrase or each things the people say or write, and we try and understand the meaning, the intention of the user, what are the entities existing in it, and then based on these understanding we can drive decision, drive whatever we need. So yeah, when speaking about e-learning platform, there is a lot of implementation of sub machine learning processes or sub AIs. When we talk about an AI, there is a lot of AIs in just one AI. So when we talk about NLP, it's just a part where we just process the speech or the text and try to understand what the meaning from it, what the people is trying to accomplish, what are they trying to tell us. So we just take the intention and try to act upon that intention.
Okay. So thank you so much. What is the most important things that we should take it in first stage when we do something for kids in the machine learning sector? So that was a question.
Speaking from a pedagogical part, I'm no expert in the matter of teaching, but from what I understand, from my opinion, I can be open about it. Normally, I suggest instead of teaching them the theory behind machine learning, the graphs, the very complex thing, the maths, we go for students and we give them we flip the model. Instead of starting from the theory until practice, we start with the practice instead. So basically for kids to fall in love with the magic of the machine learning, we need to implement the machine learning for them. Okay, this is how you do it, this is how you implement these things, this is the best thing you can do. They can implement it. They don't have to understand how it's going to work and how it's working. They just need to fall in love with the concept, and then with their normally questions and stuff related, because we know kids are really question machines. So normally they will be asking questions, and as far as they go for questions, we can answer more questions and then give them whatever they need.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Abderrahman Jaize, for being with us today. That was very informative. We have another question. Okay, so we have a lot of questions. So are BERT transformers still trending? If you could answer that.
Honestly, I can't say. It depends on the usage. Normally in 2020, we can still use them. The concept is really simple. We don't have to honestly, it just depends on the use case, if we need them or not. And no one is telling you that they are out of the concept. Normally in 2019, it was the year of the BERT, and much has been written about it truth can be told, it's hard to overestimate the impact transformers that they have on the NLP community. So even though we talk about LSTMs now, we do sound old-fashioned, but normally the state-of-the-art paper have been incoming steadily. So at Google, BERT made it into introduction into record-breaking time. So all of the above while enabling headache transfer learning, which is now the coolest kid in the NLP town.
Well, that's very interesting. So another question from
Transfer
he
learning.
says, where do we get all of this information? Because it's not easy to get data for each person. It can be very overwhelming and it can cost a lot of money.
It depends. So basically, if you've known Udemy and Coursera are like one of the major e-learning platforms that exist nowadays. So basically, what they have done first when they started whenever a student joined the platform, they give them a lot of questions, a lot of formulas to fill. So they started with that, and then now they just have implemented their own machine learning and behavioral understanding patterns, and then based on the combination they managed to collect data. So how to collect data is still the problem we are facing. So we can try and innovate in that part also, and we can get big deals from that.
So I guess that's all of the questions. Yeah, that's all of the questions. Thank you so much, Mr. Abderrahman. This was very informative. Thank you for being with us. It's really an honor.
Thank you.
And right now, guys, we should be taking a 4-minute break. ومن بعد باش نرجعوا مع our next speaker, or the next workshop presented by Mr. Hatem Sine. Donc, stay here, guys. Stay tuned, and it will start in around